So today we'll paint a portrait of Elisa. She has this wonderful reference. We start by mixing orange-brown paint very thinly with a solvent. That is to about this kind of liquid consistency and with this liquid color. The color isn't crucial now, but just use an average skin tone. Without whites, without using any white colors. I'm finding the silhouette shape, and I want it a bit darker right away, so I'm taking more brown. I chose the format on the canvas, or rather the canvas is 40 by 50, and I made the photo format on the tablet 40 by 50 as well. To make it easier for myself to find the composition, right now I'm basically covering almost everything with color, almost everything. No more orange, it's really scary to add it. I'm mixing it, the neck, the arm, the mixture. And the task here is to show her form as accurately as possible, to find a resemblance and then add some extra elements with colors from myself to make it even more interesting. I've found the silhouette now, so the next step is to define it a bit more precisely. Separating the hair from the face, I just take our pure brown umber Leningrad natural and define it. Separating the hair from the face, my goal is to show you the simplest possible approach to finding and painting a portrait. When we've separated the hair from the face, we're left with the facial part, which we can roughly divide into 3 sections. For children, the upper part is slightly larger compared to adults. Accordingly, the eyes will probably be almost right in the middle. I won't show the construction right now, I'll just show how I usually lay it out with spots. I can clearly see the forehead and I leave it roughly according to how it feels, what size it should be. And right away I cover the eye sockets with a darker color. The nose on kids is smaller. Well, here, basically, if you look at the eyebrows and the chin, and the shadowed part is roughly in the middle, and that's the shadowed part. Basically, you can cover more and more densely right away with a red-orange color like this. As an artist, I had a mix with brown. It's a bit messy, so here I cover the shadowed part. We cover this hand, and there's a slight tilt of the head. So a bit on the eyes, to the side and on the lips as well, just testing. We fix this and add more. Shape it into a pie-like form. This part has dried up, and to avoid having white spots on our canvas, we mix the background color. Here I want to mix, you see in the background we have a bit of a greenish dirty color, and with our orange that's what we get. This kind of color can basically be made right here, just like in the photo, a bit darker. And then add some light on top. I want to change this brush, change the color, so I take it and wipe it off. And it turns out, I mix it, a lighter one. I took Turkish blue as the base. I mixed it, it's a light color, a bit dirty, just a little. Now the task is to cover the white so it doesn't get in the way. It's similar to what you want to get in the end, so that the tone is close right away. Then I mix in a little pink here, and I get a more purple color, a bit rough. It's not work, not a dress, something not really raised in this area. I just take it off right away, like this. Like this. Here, we've almost gotten rid of the white. 7 minutes have passed. intense. You don't need to allocate much time for this stage because otherwise it will already... You'll be doing what you don't need to. So, well, right now the face seems big compared to our reference. We're going to start fixing it now. We'll make the gut a little smaller and so right now our task is you're filming. Now the task is to start refining things a little bit. The feather is brown again, and even more precisely, I'm laying in the hair. And often they go from top to bottom up. We usually fix it in the composition, so you can't really move it much higher or lower, for example. Maybe now I'm being more precise, more thorough. Now we're working with a thicker consistency, more dense, whereas before it was more liquid. Now, since our canvas is already wet, we basically don't need any more solvent. That's why I'm taking pure color now. Sometimes I add blue to the brown, just a little bit to make it more muted, to either cool it down and darken it a bit, or to make the shade a little warmer. Very often when we paint children, their lower face ends up larger than it should be. If you try to make the hair exactly right now and look at it in relation to the rest, the face should start here. Somewhere around here is where I place it. I'm refining it further now. Make the spots darker, the forehead is darker, the nose is smaller, the lips are higher, and that's how it turns out that the face will be somewhere here. The face in relation to the hair. Now I'm looking, look, to see the whole picture, you either need to step back or squint. Look at the picture as a whole without focusing on the details. You'll then see the full picture more clearly, and accordingly, it becomes clear whether everything is arranged correctly or not. Look, I reduced the lower part, and now it's starting to look a bit more like a girl. Even more hair, even more. The next step, again, is to move a bit away from this color, although the neck can be made a bit better. And I can also improve the arm, and now it's a little better. Dare to peek out, look, someone with red flowers. I studied well. We immediately start throwing it at his face too. His forehead is big. You shouldn't raise the hour of the year up. You can even outline the eyebrows a little to fix the height. Both of them, as if it will go up even less, raising it even more. The beauty of working with spots is that you don't have to get it right immediately. We gradually threw the lips up there with a reserve, high up, with the red one, our reddish and orange too. I think we can immediately throw some on the cheek here. We could throw some here and here into the shadow. There now. Now we already have some spots thrown in, and with the hair, I add a bit more contrast for the girl compared to the face, separating the hair. Now you can use an even smaller brush. Right now the brush is, I don't know what size it is. Look, I've laid in all the dark areas, roughly by spots. I've found the next step we need. We need to find the lightest areas. The simplest thing in a portrait is to find the most contrasting things, meaning the lightest and the darkest. I'm mixing yellow, white, and red. It turns out to be a peach. A light peach color, and you just roughly apply it. I pretty roughly throw it on the area where the forehead is, and the cheek area for now is basically done with one color, even though you can see that the forehead is darker, for example. But my base color isn't the lightest. It's kind of like this compared to white, you see? So you can actually lay down all the colors with it to understand the proportions, but overall, that's it too. It's kind of close to the phrases. The neck also overlaps with the neck, and the arm starts a bit at the ruble. Okay, the other arm just a little. You can see a hint will let you find it too, so I did all those. So now we can work a bit more precisely on some moments, a little here, a little around the eyes, add some light. In some places we don't rush into details, we work out the large spots as much as possible, because the details will immediately distract us. Believe that she exists, for now believe in nothing else. That everything, nothing has passed, we are 13. I round the neck a little, the shadow goes sharply and with contrast along the chin. You should also act gradually. Look, it's starting to take shape a little bit. For now, we're keeping it very simple here on this and so on. Lately, I immediately start adding various interesting colors. For example, I take a bit of blue with my dirty brush and add it here and there in the hair. Then, for example, orange. Also add it here and there in the hair, wherever it seems it will look good. Then you can take blue with burgundy and add it to the dark areas. So basically you can go ahead and throw these things right now into the places where you're sure about them. For example, the hair, so that you already have some variety in colors and shades. And now you can even use a smaller brush, or for now it's fine to work with this big one. I'll start looking for the eyes in more detail, wipe the brush on a rag and let's go. Let's go. I roughly blocked in the eye spots according to the sketch, and still I'll take a smaller brush and add the eyes a bit more according to their shape with more detail. Again, it's still too early to really go into details here, so don't rush to add too much detail and don't waste time on unnecessary things for now. That is, the amount of detail will depend on how much time you spend. If you get stuck on one part for too long, it means you're already starting to add too much detail. That's not the case if you're like me right now. I did the nose quickly in just a couple of strokes, but some details still appeared, which is fine. But if you start fussing over it and looking for details, that means it's not currently necessary for you personally. The more you work it out, if you work in these large patches and don't move on to the details, it will be more accurate. Especially in terms of tones and also in terms of shape. Look, I've already done the lips on Kel, the light part, the dark part, the lower lip is even lighter with some white, and I immediately wanted to add a pinkish color, this one here. There's already a lot of paint, and I wanted to add even more light right away. What does that do? It gives a better understanding of the spots, whether they're in the right place or not. Although they look absolutely yellow, like if you put yellow right on top, it would be denser. But again, don't rush with the density either. Right now, I just feel a certain confidence in the spots, shapes and sizes, so I'm already doing this in a thicker, more textured way. I mixed this kind of shadowy color for the forehead, and this color is also a little bit here on the bridge, a little bit here and a bit here. Alright, let's take a fresh look at Akhanov's drawing. I see that I already want some more colorful things now. I'll add orange, a really bright one, mix it with some red, and I want to put it where the face meets the light. So I want to add orange there right away. How interesting. Somewhere the same on the hair. In some places you can somewhere all over, somewhere on the hand. And here, to have contrast on the hair, we'll do that. Some kind of dark one. So which one did I want? A cooler one? Something like this. Yes, yes, like this. My hair ends somewhere around here. Here. Let's take something brighter, I don't know, blue. And let's blend it a little bit. Okay, I took a little break. Now we'll start fixing the details.
To be continued.
Alright, so here I decided to add some more details after all, just using a fine brush like this. Which allows you to make very thin and long lines.